What's good, everybody? It is Jamie Filer, your co-host, your host of the Trainer Revenue Multiplier podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. And by us, I mean my friend, Josh Thomas of the Lifted Mindset. How are you, Josh?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I have to admit, when you came into TRM, I was not skeptical, but I judged a book by its cover. And the cover of that book was the Train magazine, in which you're just an absolutely shredded Greek god of a human being. And I said, this guy is going to be so annoying to coach. He's going to be a show pony. He's just beautiful. There probably isn't any brains behind that brawn. All of that went through my mind, Josh.
Well, I mean, I tried to add a brain to the logo. So that was the brains. That was the brains I was bringing to the table.
Well, this is, I mean, as soon as you open your mouth, and I was like, well, there it is. Okay, great. So he's not only a genuine human being and understands the principles of entrepreneurship, but he also so happens to be a cover model. So you really have it all going on. Josh, how did you get your start in the fitness industry? What brought you to that Train magazine cover, Lifted Mindset, TRM in general?
So I've been in the gym since I was 12 years old. So I'm 33 now. When I was in middle school, like I would do track, but in the off season, I wasn't doing much. My mom got me a gym membership. I went, I wasn't consistent, didn't go. So she put me in karate. I absolutely just did not like karate at all. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this gym thing a try. Got to the gym, started seeing some results, got with the trainer. My initial trainer wasn't that, he was there for the paycheck. It seemed like he was like, training, oh, here's a kid, here's a 12-year-old kid. Oh, here I go. Yeah. So it turned me off. But then I found a really great trainer that really inspired me, really kind of lit the fire under me. And I saw value within just what he was teaching me, and I built a passion. I started seeing results, started working out. And then from there, I started interning at 15. So like I really started in the gym, like interning high school athletes to improve their, performance in football and basketball, all that stuff. So really, that's where the bug bit me. And from there, I mean, it's been 18 years of doing it. Like it's been my life for, more than half my life. So it's very well integrated with what I'm doing now. And like, I love it. Like this is my passion.
So what was the point in your career journey that you stopped working for the gym you started at 15 and said, you know what, I could do this? And you just took it on the road?
Obviously, I think there's a value within building a foundation in some kind of corporate space. From there, I got into competitive bodybuilding, so I was like coaching. I personally did it. And I was coaching people, putting them on stage, seeing this 12, 16-week transformation of their physiques and putting them on stage. So that was I was in person in the gym, but I was also doing this online coaching for bodybuilding on the side. So it only made sense. Like I was seeing value within the skills that I had that just didn't align with the corporate structure that I was working around. So I moved from the corporate space, went into an independent training gym. And then from there, honestly, 2020 happened to where the gym got shut down. And that really made me had to pivot my business. Like I was like, all right, everyone went online. So it really made me it pressured me to really grow in a space that was very new to me. So that was really the starting point of me getting out of the corporate space. And it was a blessing in disguise because from there, you meet so many people going through the same struggles. The gym was shut down for 3 months. So it was more so like me trying to rebuild not only my business, but I have 2 kids at the time that were under 5 years old. They had no school. So I was trying to teach. I was trying to build a business, trying to manage my day to day. Luckily, I didn't go crazy, but it was a test, and really a testament to what I am today.
Absolutely. And so when did you become the Lifted Mindset?
It's really like, for me, it's more so the brand itself. Like the idea came with the totality of what I am. Like I always had like Josh Thomas Fitness. And then from there, I was like, okay, I wanted to be something bigger than myself. I wanted to create a brand that can, stand the test of time. A great quote is, you can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea. So the idea with the Lifted Mindset was think bigger, exist better. So the think bigger part for me is like, how can I motivate people to stay in the gym consistently? Like, what has kept me so consistent over 20 years, and it's evolved over time. Like, obviously at a young age, you want some muscle, you want to be strong, you're in the gym, you're seeing results, but that dies down a little bit, as you become a father, a husband, you own your own business to where you are preaching fitness, the value of fitness. Like, what real intrinsic motivation keeps people going? And for me, it was like really understanding and approaching it from a mindset standpoint. Like, I don't go to the gym now to look a certain way. I don't go to, just show off. I go that this is like a mindset for me. This is all mental. Like, I've seen the value of how that translates from the mental to the physical in all my clients. I've seen so many transformations over my years. So that was the biggest thing. It was just think bigger. And for me, it was generational. Like, generational health is my motivation. Like, I want to do better than, my parents when it comes to health. I lost my father, a few years ago, a heart attack at 57 years old. So I'm like, okay, I'm 33. Like, I just want to do better. And I've seen value in life from fitness, from eating properly, from just having a lifestyle based around healthier habits. And that was really Lifted Mindset for me. It was just generational health, how I can translate that to my kids, be a better example for them, and just think better to exist better.
So when did the transition happen? Was it gradual? Was it organic? Was it a hard stop that you went from coaching competitors to coaching male executives who are more focused on healthy habits and generational health?
I think it was ultimately my idea for what I do now. Like, I have to try to be as optimized as possible, being an entrepreneur, speaking, or like living the example, right? Like, I have to lead with being an example for my clients. So I was like, okay, how can I my results going from bodybuilding when I was training every single day, 6-7 days a week, to, I train now half that. And the goal was to showcase how can I achieve the same results in less time. And really that allowed me to open up more time for my business and grow my business.
Sure.
So really it was just, I wanted to focus on, and I still train some physique competitors, I do, but the foundation is really about health and well-being. Because at my heaviest, when I was competing in bodybuilding, like in the off season, I got to like 300 pounds. So like, from a health standpoint, I wasn't aligned with where I am now. Like, and for me, it was like, I had, bad sleep apnea. Like, I asked my wife, I pressed the snooze alarm at least like 10 times every single morning. So now it's like, you hear the alarm, like I am up like 100-meter dash sprinter getting to my phone. So it's like, I've learned so much, from my own journey within fitness and health, and where I am now. Like, I'm an entrepreneur, and it only aligns so much with who I want to coach or who I want to train. Like, I want to train dads that want to improve their well-being, how that translates into their business, into their family life. I have a lot of guys I have conversations with all the time. They're like, I can be more confident within my business if I was in shape. And they're constantly telling me that. And you see a lot of people that just don't have that misalignment or don't see it yet. And I just want to continue to showcase and shine a light on that area. Be like, you can do your best if you take care of yourself, if you have better sleep habits, if you have better nutrition habits, how that translates into your performance, into your mental clarity, into your mental health, all that stuff. It's all connected.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's an awesome segue into the business side of things. You say, or based on what I'm hearing, it sounds like you really grew the most as an entrepreneur in 2020, obviously prior to TRM. It's when you had to pivot your business. It's when you really had to step into your power and trial by fire, right?
Yes.
So how far did you come in? I guess it would have been about 2 years that you decided at some point, you said, okay, I'm at this ceiling. I need external help. I need business coaching.
I think that 2020, there's a lot of change within that year for me, a lot of different responsibilities taking on. I really wanted to refine and understand and build just better values with under myself before I was, going out and just looking for new clients. My focus was really refining my vision, and that was the main thing. Like, I wanted to make sure that I had a good foundation to build on before I went out and started, growing ultimately. Because again, like from a bodybuilding standpoint, it's so valuable. You can't just train upper body for, ever and have a weak foundation within your legs, right? Like, the goal was to make sure that my 2 feet were strong under me before I really went and had the confidence to really had to kind of kill off some of my ego a little bit to make sure that I was in the space to take on new information that really helped me grow so much. I mean, in the past, this year alone, like, I have significant growth, but it took a couple of years for me to make sure that I had other areas of my life in place, making sure that my marriage was good, my relationships, my kids, my family, all that was so important to me to build something that was worthwhile, worth value. Because again, there's business, and then there's also the family man. My focus is trying to find the balance and being in alignment with that. Like, it's really, that's the main thing. Like, I want to make sure that if I speak about generational health, for me, that impact, that may speak something else, someone else, but for me, it's more so like family comes first.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to really have a good understanding of how I fell into place within my vision of what I want to accomplish and how that can translate into someone else's goals. I have a lot of men that, again, they may be out of shape. Like, it's amazing to see transformations. Like, I could get a dad that comes to me in 6 months, a year, he loses 40 pounds. You plug them back into their day-to-day. You see that, their libido's higher. You see that their wife is looking at them a little differently. You see that even, their neighbors are looking at them a little differently. They have more energy. Their kids are playing with them more. So it's really, I'm inspired by that. Like, that was my main thing. It was more so understanding the connection between someone's personal health, personal fitness goals, and really how that translates into their day-to-day and who they can inspire through that.
I love that. So 2020, let's say 2021, early 2022, your feet are strong, your foundation is built, your legs can support an upper body. What makes you say, hey, now it's time for me to get TRM? Like, where were you at in your business or your life?
I was in a place where I was confident with what I had to bring to the table. I knew I needed help. It was more so that was the focus. Like, I got to a place where I felt like I needed just a community. Honestly, like, TRM has been an amazing community for me. And I was open enough to continue to pursue Matthew and just make sure that I had a good understanding of what I wanted to accomplish. My vision was clear. I wanted to help more people. I wanted to impact more people. So I came to him, and he was very gracious, generous, and he was very open to taking me on. And he saw something in me that, I wasn't seeing at the time. And then from there, just sparked the fire to pursue this and commit here.
I love that. So our 4 pillars are kind of systems, marketing, sales, and psychology. Where would you say you needed the most work when you came in?
It was psychology and systems. I mean, ultimately, systems, from a business standpoint, psychology, having but systems, my systems were very non-existent. They were just, fly by the seat of my pants, So it's saved me so much time. Like, I was looking at some of my numbers earlier today, and it's like the capacity for me to train people has gone up 25%, but I'm working less, so it's really cool to see. The right systems. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then psychologically speaking, where were you? I don't want to say deficient, but where did you need improvement?
It really is more so I think my idea sales aspect of things, right? Like, it's more so I had to focus that shift from, I'm helping people. We're changing lives here. Like, and I had the confidence to know that, because from time to time, again, I could plug someone into our system and they get phenomenal results. Mm-hmm. So it was me overcoming the idea of being a salesman. From the start of being a trainer, it's all about hitting numbers, hitting these numbers, hitting this. And for some reason, it turned me off early on. But realizing obviously as an entrepreneur, we wear different hats, right? Like I'm, a businessman, I'm a salesman, I'm a father as well, a husband. So my focus has always been about growth overall. But in that state, like it took some time to really kind of overcome some just false beliefs, and really just shifting my mindset to prioritizing service. That was the biggest thing. I want to serve more people. And that was my main focus. How can I improve my ability to serve others?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the other, you mentioned mindset of significant growth. And where I've seen a lot of growth from you is your openness to hiring an employee.
Yes.
Because often for entrepreneurs, one of the reasons we get in our own way and we bottleneck our growth is we say, well, nobody can do it as well as I can. Like I would be doing a disservice to my clients to let anyone but me train them, right?
Yep.
So tell me about what shifted in your mind as someone who prides himself in being such a great coach, that you're like, if I step back, Justin, whom is your assistant, he might actually be able to serve these guys pretty well.
Yeah. And again, that was the biggest part for me. I was reluctant to trust, right? Put trust, like let the mindset is my baby in a sense. I've built it from the ground up. Like it just, and that was the hardest part. But finding someone like Justin was so valuable because again, it was more so he's been with me for 4 years. He's trained under me. He's built a passion. He's changed his own entire life. So he was bought in from the very beginning. So it only made like it was divine intervention to be like, hey, like you can trust this individual to put more on his plate. And with the same core values. He's a young father. Wants to prioritize his well-being and sees a lot of value and a lot of passion in helping other people do the same thing. So that was the biggest thing, and from there you start take on one, and now I'm like, all right, let me look for some more. Let me try to see where I can help and build more, really empower more people, right? Because I didn't have this as a trainer growing up. Like I didn't have someone to tell me, hey, get from point A to point B a little faster, less, bumping your head into the wall. So I really take on this responsibility to the highest to make sure that I can teach him up, coach him up. And he's loving it, which I'm loving it the same way because it gives me more time to prioritize working on the business versus working at the business.
Right. And his passion and enthusiasm really means that at the end of the day, your clients are going to be served that much better by a coach who genuinely wants to be there. Right.
Yes.
Piece of advice. You mentioned you used the word alignment a lot. What would your advice be to younger or even veteran coaches who, I don't know, maybe they're out of alignment. Maybe they've lost their passion, right, Josh? There aren't a lot of people who have been in the industry for 18 years and are just as excited about it as you are this long into their career. So what advice would you give to people who are out of alignment, either with who they're serving or what they're doing?
I'd say, take a step back. For me, it was more so I really had to have the confidence and understanding that I was truly an example of what I was trying to convey to people.
Mm-hmm.
That was the main thing. It was more so like I wanted to train, individuals that saw a value and connection between their physical fitness, their well-being and quality of life, and how that translated into their work life, their family life, their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk about alignment so much just because like I'm aware that I'm in a space now where I'm like the healthiest I've ever been. Yeah. And I have that confidence to know that I can take on more clients because I've seen it time and time again to where I can translate more clearly the information that I've obviously been through from trial and error for 2 decades personally, and then also having the conversations with clients. Like I did the numbers a while back, and it was like they talk about being a master once you hit like 10,000 hours. Like I've done like 30,000 hours of like one-on-one personal training sessions with clients over 2 decades. That's not even me. That's not even on my personal goals. So I've definitely put in more hours on my personal, focus on bodybuilding, my physique. But having the understanding that like all my clients kind of round out my edges a little bit in the sense of understanding their struggle points, and how I can translate that to other people is just so clear, and that was the biggest thing. I wanted to really get an understanding of how can I get people from point A to point B, seeing the results the soonest while keeping them motivated. Because that's the main thing. It's just keeping it simple, cutting out all the BS, allowing someone to follow a plan consistently, seeing results, tracking the right metrics to make sure that they're seeing success, seeing some positive feedback, and just giving them the support needed to continue down the path, wherever it may be.
I love that. I love that answer. And my last question to you, a little bit more on a personal level, is what would your advice be to a parent who is an entrepreneur, obviously a personal trainer, who is stuck, but either their ego or their economics are getting in the way of them hiring a coach to take them to the next level?
I would say it's well worth it. Because I was there, honestly, like I was in a space of like, obviously you invest in yourself. I say it all the time. Like when I was competing in bodybuilding, I had a prep coach. When 2020 hit, I stopped bodybuilding. I got into MMA. I trained for 2 years. I got a coach to put me through it as well for 2 years. So there's so much value. Like we practice what we preach all the time. From me personally as a fitness coach, nutrition coach, I need a coach too. And I have multiple coaches now, through TRM. And I also have guys that put me through workouts as well that I have helped me over the years, really sharpen my tools ultimately. Yeah. So if there's anyone that's hesitant or I'd say just drop it, drop it and commit. Cause I've seen so much more past 4 months since I've started with TRM than I have in 18 years. So that's the testament alone, because I understand the systems work. I understand just being within the community of like-minded individuals that want to help people. That works, no matter what you're doing, and if it's not training, if it's, car sales, whatever it is, like if you plug yourself in the community of like-minded individuals and want to have the same outcome of which is ultimately success in some form, it's going to work. Just drop what you think and just allow yourself to be open-minded to new experiences. And then from there, like you will learn so much more than you would if you just stayed still. Yeah.
Josh, thank you so much. It is a pleasure to coach you. It is a pleasure to speak with you, sir.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Of course, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you like us, share us, rate us, subscribe to us. We definitely want to continue to provide as much value as frequently as possible for you. So we want your feedback. Josh, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at The Lifted Mindset, LinkedIn, Josh Thomas, Facebook, Lifted Mindset Community. There's a group there. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We are at Trainer Revenue Multiplier. Thank you for listening to the show, and we will catch you on the next episode.